Hey everybody, hope you guys are healthy and safe. So today we're taking a look at the Nubia RedMagic 7 Pro. So this is the newest gaming phone from Nubia, a sub-brand of ZTE. Now to be honest, before I got my hands on this phone 24 hours ago, I didn't know much about it because I generally don't really care about gaming phones because to me, they're mostly gimmicks. Like most of the phones, other than adding a strip of LTE lights on the back, they don't really do anything else differently than what an iPhone or Galaxy S22 Ultra would do, like if you're playing games on those phones too. But the Nubia RedMagic 7 Pro is different because this device actually does several things that enhances gaming performance. So it actually is a better phone to play games on than say with an iPhone or a Galaxy S22 Ultra. So these things include a completely uninterrupted screen with a flat panel, a large 5000 mAh battery, capacitive shoulder buttons on the right side of the device, which is also the top of the device when you're holding it like this, a physical toggle switch for you to jump into a game mode automatically. You have a software UI that's optimized for gaming, and also this may be the craziest part, you actually have a fan right here, and there's an actual vent right here that will push air out, and you also have an additional air inlet vents right here, so that means airflow in this phone is much better than any other phone, and you can actually hear the fan. It's not too loud, but you can hear it, and you have these LED lights right here. Now you can turn on or off the fan with just the tap of a software button, but you can also set it so the fan turns on automatically whenever you start a game or whenever the phone reaches a certain temperature. There's also a dedicated chip inside called the Red Core 1, which Nubia says is used to handle all the gaming features that I just mentioned. So to handle the fan, to handle the fact that the touch capacitive sensor has super low latency at 7.2 milliseconds. So all these features I mentioned really do enhance the mobile gaming experience. The screen is 120Hz refresh rate, but it actually has a touch sampling rate of 960Hz, so it's more responsive than most other phones on the market. Okay, and the fact that the panel is flat just gives you a little bit more screen space to tap those buttons in the upper edges or bottom edges of the screen. Now, capacitive shoulder buttons are very important for first-person shooters because it frees up your thumb to just control your player movement. You can aim and shoot with your index fingers instead. When I'm playing Call of Duty, I can definitely aim and shoot more accurately and faster than when I'm playing the same game on an iPhone. And of course, the 5000 mAh battery and the super fast charging speeds just gives you more time to game. If your phone's low on battery, you don't need to charge as long before you can pick it back up. And the fan really does make a difference because this phone runs on Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, which actually runs kind of hot. Like I've been encountering overheating issues on the Xiaomi 12 Pro, for example. And when I'm gaming here, it definitely feels cooler. But you know, let's not talk about just how I feel it in my hands. We'll go with real benchmark numbers. So I jumped into the app 3D Mark and I ran the 20-minute wildlife stress test, extreme stress test. And this phone scored almost 4 times as high as the Galaxy S22 Ultra. It scored 10,079 in the best loop score with a frame rate that hovers between 31 to 75 FPS. On the Galaxy S22 Ultra, it scored only a 2,385 with a frame rate that hovered between 5 to 17 FPS. So these are huge differences. And even as the tests were running, I was watching, the S22 Ultra was stuttering while running the game, while this phone handled everything with ease. So this fan really does make a difference because it prevents the Snapdragon 8 Gen 1 from overheating, because when a chip overheats, that's when it throttles itself, which means it lowers performance. So the phone runs Android 12 with Nubia's RedMagic OS version 5.0 on top. There are some gaming features obviously, but let's talk about the phone features first. So the first thing I like is that you can open apps in floating window mode with just a 3-finger swipe up. Just a 3-finger swipe up will bring up the app, but you can actually open up to 3 apps at once doing this. So that's pretty cool. And you can even open Instagram, which Instagram often will not play nice in floating window, but you can actually open Instagram in floating window and still go through stories and scroll around, so your Instagram actually works perfectly fine. I'm also a fan of the slide over menu that allows you to do things like grab a GIF. So we'll play a video and we'll grab a GIF, just long press. And now the GIF is ready, and I can even crop into the GIF too. Now, by the way, if you're wondering how the screen is uninterrupted, that's because the selfie camera is actually hidden behind the screen. So this is an under-display camera. if you turn off the screen, you can actually see it a little bit at the top. There's an in-display fingerprint sensor too. Now this camera unfortunately is terrible. I'm not just talking about the front-facing one, the back camera is not that good too, but the front-facing one is particularly bad. But you know, this is not a phone that you buy for the camera experience. Okay, now let's talk about gaming. So like I said, there's a switch right here that you just flip to go into gaming mode. And once you're in gaming mode, now you can launch gaming apps directly like this. You see, when you go into gaming mode, it turns on the fan automatically. There's a slide over menu and it shows you, you know, this, your CPU and GPU, how much of it is being used. You can turn off notifications right here. You can adjust screen brightness on the fly. You can block phone calls. You can do a lot of things without needing to exit the game. So you see there are shoulder buttons here. And when I tap onto them, I get a nice little haptic feedback. Now I mentioned earlier that the cameras are not good. So you have a 64 megapixel main camera, 8 megapixel ultra wide. If you're shooting under good lighting, the shots are still okay. They're solid, they're decent. But at low light, the shots are pretty bad and the selfie camera is terrible all around. But like I said, this is not a phone you buy for photography. Oh, I forgot to mention too, there's also a headphone jack and stereo speakers in this phone.
I mean, do you think that God came down from heaven and stopped?
So this is the Nubia RedMagic 7 Pro in a nutshell. If you're a mobile gamer, this phone obviously has a lot of appeal to you. But even if you're not a gamer and you're just using this phone for basic smartphone tasks like watching videos, going on Instagram, this is a pretty enjoyable experience. You have a 6.8-inch uninterrupted display, Snapdragon 8 Gen 1, a lot of RAM, and a phone that will stay cool. And the price is pretty reasonable too. This phone retails for 4,700 Chinese yuan in China, which converts to about 740 US dollars. Now this phone's going to release internationally and I'm pretty sure it's going to get marked up to like $900. It's still a pretty good deal in my opinion if you are a gamer. This is not a review. I've only used this phone for one day, so this is just a hands-on first impression. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching.